The lab erupted in a cacophony of voices. Some students were amazed, others skeptical, and a few openly hostile. "Impossible," shouted Tix, a multi-brained Quartzian. No organic mind could perform such complex quantum calculations mentally. She must have cheated. Quasar's orb pulsed with an intense light, silencing the class. "I assure you, there was no cheating. In fact, the approach the human used is remarkably similar to how my own species perceives quantum interactions. We had assumed it was beyond the capabilities of organic beings." The professor turned to Zara. "It seems, Ms. Chen, that your species has hidden depths we had not anticipated. I would be very interested in learning more about human cognitive techniques." As the class ended, Zara found herself surrounded by a mix of curious and suspicious classmates. Lyra, a bioluminescent Aquilian, approached her with wide, glowing eyes. "That was amazing." Lyra bubbled. "I've never seen anyone solve one of Professor Quasar's problems so quickly. Do you think you could teach me how you did it?" Before Zara could respond, Six interrupted. "Don't be fooled, Lyra. There's no way a primitive species like humans could naturally have such abilities. She must be using some kind of hidden technology or augmentation." Zara felt her temper flare. "I'm not cheating or using any technology. This is just how my mind works. Humans have been underestimated by the galactic community for too long." Six's crystalline form vibrated with skepticism. "Prove it then. If you're so capable, why don't you join the Galactic problem-solving tournament? Let's see how well your visualization holds up against the best minds in the Academy." A hush fell over the group. The Galactic problem-solving tournament was a prestigious event that attracted the brightest students from across the cosmos. No human had ever participated, let alone placed. Zara hesitated for a moment, then squared her shoulders. "You know what? I will. I'll show you and everyone else what humans are really capable of." As word of Zara's challenge spread, the Academy buzzed with excitement and speculation. Some students began to see her in a new light, wondering what other surprises humans might have in store. Others, like K6, became even more determined to prove that her success was a fluke. That night, as Zara prepared for bed in her quarters, she received a message on her datapad. It was from Professor Xylo. "Your performance today has caught the attention of the Academy Board. They are intrigued by the potential you've shown. But be warned, young human. You've also attracted the attention of those who fear change and the unknown. Tread carefully and remember why you're here. The path you're walking could change the course of galactic history." Zara read the message twice, a mix of excitement and apprehension swirling in her gut. She had come to the Academy to prove that humanity belonged among the stars. Now, it seemed, she had the chance to do much more than that. As she drifted off to sleep, her mind filled with quantum equations and alien faces, Zara couldn't help but wonder, what other hidden potentials lay dormant within humanity, and how would the galaxy change once they were fully awakened? Little did she know that the true test of her abilities and humanity's place in the cosmos was yet to come. The Galactic problem-solving tournament would push her to her limits and beyond, challenging not just her intellect, but her very understanding of what it meant to be human in a vast and complex universe. In a galaxy teeming with life, where vibrant civilizations thrive among the stars, there exists a rare classification known as. These are planets so hostile, so unforgiving, that only the most resilient species can survive. Among the myriad of worlds, Earth stands out as a Class 12 hazardous planet, categorized for its unpredictable weather, aggressive wildlife, and challenging terrain. Yet, despite the myriad dangers, Earth's inhabitants, humans, have not only survived but thrived. Within the hallowed halls of the Galactic University, a place where the brightest minds from across the universe gather to learn and share knowledge, Professor Zill addressed his class of alien students. His gelatinous form undulated as he animatedly described humans. "And that is why humans are classified as a Class 12 hazardous species," he concluded, his tentacles waving lazily in the air. The room was filled with a stunned silence, eyes wide, appendages trembling. The mix of awe and terror was palpable. From the front row, a brave Zorian student raised a pseudopod, asking, "Professor, if humans are so dangerous, why are they allowed to attend the Galactic University at all?" Professor Zill's eye stalks swiveled towards the student, amusement glinting in his multifaceted eyes. An excellent question. Despite their, shall we say, robust constitution, humans have proven surprisingly adept at diplomacy. Plus, their tuition fees are astronomical. A ripple of nervous laughter echoed through the classroom. At the back, a lone human exchange student named Sarah rolled her eyes. She was used to being viewed as a walking disaster, but it was still annoying. As the lecture continued, her thoughts drifted to what the cafeteria might be serving for lunch. Suddenly, the professor's voice cut through her reverie, sending a jolt of panic through the alien students. "And that's why we'll be taking a field trip to Hawks next week. Pack your thermal suits and don't forget your radiation pills." Chaos erupted in the classroom. Sarah blinked, confused. Hawks didn't sound so bad, just a bit chilly. As the bell rang, the alien students rushed out, many in states of distress. Curious, Sarah approached Professor Zill. "Excuse me, sir, I couldn't help but notice everyone seemed upset about this field trip. Is there something I'm missing?" Writhed, a gesture she had come to recognize as laughter. "Ms. Thompson, sometimes I forget you're not familiar with our galactic classification system. Hawks is classified as a Class 1 death world, the most inhospitable type of planet in the known universe." Sarah's brow furrowed. "But isn't Earth a death world too?" "Indeed," the professor replied, "a Class 12 to be precise. The difference is that is actively trying to kill you every second you're there. Earth is more of a passive-aggressive murderer." She couldn't help but laugh. "Well, when you put it that way, what should I expect on this field trip?" Per narrowed his eye stalks. Temperatures hovering around absolute zero, gravity 3 times that of standard, and an atmosphere so thick you could swim through it if it weren't also highly corrosive. And let's not forget the local wildlife that sees anything moving as a potential snack. Sarah nodded thoughtfully. "Sounds like a typical Tuesday in Australia. Do I need to bring anything special?" The professor stared at her for a long moment before bursting into gelatinous laughter. "Just bring yourself and a positive attitude. The university will provide all necessary survival gear." As she left the classroom, Sarah felt a tinge of excitement. This field trip was shaping up to be way more interesting than she had anticipated. Arrival on. The following week, Sarah found herself crammed into a transport ship with her alien classmates, all of whom resembled colorful, terrified marshmallows, wrapped in layers of protective gear. She glanced down at her outfit, a slightly bulkier version of a standard spacesuit. At least she could move her arms. "Class, this is Professor Voice," came the announcement over the ship's system. "We'll be touching down on in approximately 5 minutes. Remember your training, stick to your assigned groups, and for the love of all that's holy, don't try to pet the local fauna." Sarah chuckled at the professor's dry humor. As the ship began its descent, her alien seatmate, a named Zix, turned to her with wide, terrified eyes. How are you so calm? We're about to land on the most dangerous planet in the galaxy." "Relax," Sarah replied, patting his tentacle reassuringly. "It can't be any worse than Black Friday shopping at Walmart." Before could ask what a Walmart was and why it involved ritualistic combat, the ship touched down with a bone-rattling thud. The doors opened to reveal a landscape that was both breathtaking and terrifying. A swirling storm of ice and debris greeted them, the horizon obscured by thick, swirling clouds of frozen particles. Professor Zill's eye stalks sparkled with enthusiasm. Take the Terran Deathworlders, for example. Humans have a remarkable ability to modify their surroundings. In the face of adversity, they invent solutions. From their weather control systems to their highly developed technology, humans have an innate ability to adapt. Another student chimed in, "But what about their destructive nature? Aren't they a threat?" "That's a common misconception," Professor Zill explained. While humans can be destructive, they are also capable of extraordinary cooperation and ingenuity. The key is to understand their potential and how to navigate their world without causing offense. As the discussion continued, Sarah found herself reflecting on her life on Earth. She remembered the heat waves and storms that could wreak havoc, but also the way her community banded together during crisis. The more she learned about the galactic view of humans, the more she realized how unique their existence was. After the class ended, Sarah lingered behind to speak with Professor Zill. "Do you really believe humans could change the way the galaxy views Deathworlders?" He paused, considering her question. "I do. Humans have a way of surprising us all. They are resilient, adaptable, and ultimately capable of great change." Feeling inspired, Sarah left the classroom with newfound determination. If humans could change perceptions, maybe she could play a part in that too. The invitation. A few weeks passed, and the class continued their studies on various death worlds. Sarah enjoyed the camaraderie forming among her classmates, and her confidence grew as she adapted to life at the Galactic University. One afternoon, while studying in the library, she received a notification on her holo device. It was an invitation to attend a gathering for interspecies diplomacy hosted by the Galactic Council. Excitement bubbled in her chest as she read through the details. This was a rare opportunity for students to engage with prominent leaders from across the galaxy. The evening of the event arrived, and Sarah donned her best attire, an elegant jumpsuit that shimmered with intergalactic motifs. As she entered the grand hall, she was awestruck by the sights around her. Different species mingled, their colors and shapes a dazzling display of diversity. Sarah spotted Professor Zill across the room and made her way toward him. "I can't believe I'm here," she exclaimed. "Ah, Ms. Thompson," he greeted her with enthusiasm. "I'm glad you could make it. This gathering is an opportunity to showcase the potential of interspecies collaboration." As they chatted, Sarah noticed a group of influential figures at the front of the hall, including the esteemed Chancellor of the Galactic Council, a towering figure with a golden exoskeleton. Her heart raced with nerves as she watched the group engage in lively discussions, emphasizing the importance of understanding and cooperation among species. "Would you like to meet some of the council members?" Professor Zill asked, his eye stalks gleaming with excitement. "Really? I'd love that," Sarah replied, her heart pounding. Professor Zill guided her toward the council members, and as they approached, she felt a mix of anticipation and anxiety. The Chancellor turned to them, and a warm smile spread across his face. "Ah, Professor Zill, it's good to see you. And this must be one of our promising students from Earth." "Yes, Chancellor. Meet Sarah Thompson, a remarkable human with great potential." As they exchanged pleasantries, Sarah could hardly believe her luck. The Chancellor spoke passionately about the future of interspecies relations, emphasizing the need for understanding and collaboration among all species. "Humans, in particular, have shown remarkable resilience," he said, glancing at Sarah. "Your planet's journey from a chaotic past to a beacon of hope for the galaxy is inspiring. It reminds us that even the harshest environments can foster incredible innovation and creativity." Feeling emboldened, Sarah spoke up. "Thank you, Chancellor. I believe that understanding our differences is the key to creating a brighter future together." The Chancellor nodded, impressed. "Well said. We need more voices like yours in this galaxy." As the evening continued, Sarah engaged in discussions about humanity's role in the galaxy, sharing stories of innovation, resilience, and cooperation. The council members listened intently, their eyes wide with curiosity. By the end of the night, Sarah felt a sense of belonging she had never experienced before. She was determined to bridge the gap between humans and the rest of the galaxy, showing them that Deathworlders could be more than just a classification. They could be allies. Part 5. A new challenge. Weeks turned into months, and Sarah's efforts to promote understanding among species gained momentum. She collaborated with her classmates on projects, advocating for the unique strengths of humans and the lessons learned from Earth's challenges. However, just as she began to feel at home, news broke of a growing conflict on a neighboring death world known as Githar. Reports indicated that a territorial dispute between two powerful factions threatened to spiral into violence, drawing the attention of the Galactic Council. Sarah watched the news with concern. "This could escalate into a full-blown war," she said, her heart heavy. Professor Zill entered the room, his tentacles quivering with agitation. "Indeed, the situation is dire. The Council is discussing interventions, but we must tread carefully. Githar is a volatile world, and our presence could complicate matters." "But we have to help," Sarah exclaimed. "If we don't act, countless lives could be lost." Zill sighed. "Your passion is commendable, but we must first understand the dynamics at play. We cannot impose solutions without fully grasping the situation." In the following days, Sarah gathered her classmates to brainstorm ways to assist without exacerbating the conflict. They researched Githar's history, cultures, and past attempts at resolution, determined to find a path forward. One evening, as they worked late into the night, Zix spoke up. "What if we propose a peace summit? Gather representatives from both factions and facilitate dialogue." Sarah's eyes lit up. "That's a brilliant idea. We can use our experience from the Galactic Council gathering as a model." The group quickly mobilized, drafting a proposal for a peace summit on Githar. They spent days preparing, ensuring they understood the sensitivities of both factions and the importance of mutual respect. Finally, with their proposal in hand, they presented it to Professor Zill, who was visibly impressed. "This is well thought out, but we need to approach the Council for approval." Sarah and her classmates stood before the Galactic Council, their hearts racing as they presented their proposal. The Chancellor listened intently, nodding along as they outlined their plan for a summit focused on dialogue and collaboration. After a lengthy deliberation, the Council agreed to support their initiative. "Very well," the Chancellor said, a glimmer of hope in his eyes. "We will send you to Githar as emissaries of peace." Overwhelmed with excitement, Sarah and her classmates celebrated their victory. They prepared for the mission, knowing that they had the chance to make a difference in the galaxy. The Peace Summit, arriving on Githar, was unlike anything Sarah had experienced. The landscape was a mesmerizing mix of vibrant colors and harsh terrains, reflecting the planet's tumultuous history. She could feel the tension in the air as they set up for the Peace Summit. As representatives from both factions arrived, Sarah's heart raced. Each faction was uniquely adorned, reflecting their cultural identities, yet their eyes held an unmistakable weight of mistrust. "Stay focused," Professor Zill reminded them. "You are here to facilitate understanding. Listen more than you speak." The summit began with a tense silence, the atmosphere thick with uncertainty. Sarah introduced herself and her team, explaining their role in promoting dialogue. "We believe that through communication, we can address our differences and find common ground," she said, her voice steady. The representatives exchanged skeptical glances, but Sarah pressed on. "We all share the same desire for peace and prosperity. Let's work together to create a better future for Githar." After initial hesitations, the factions began to voice their concerns. Heated discussions erupted, and Sarah felt the weight of the room pressing down on her. She noticed one of the representatives from the Kith faction, a tall figure adorned with intricate markings, raise his voice in frustration. "Why should we trust them? They know nothing of our struggles." "Perhaps they can learn," replied the other representative from the Makar faction, a stout figure with bright scales. "It is our duty to educate them." As tensions escalated, Sarah stepped forward, urging them to pause. "Let's not forget why we're here. We all want peace, but that requires vulnerability and trust. Let's share our stories." As the representatives began to open up about their histories, Sarah felt a shift in the room. She listened intently, empathizing with their struggles and dreams. Slowly, the dialogue transformed from accusations to understanding. Hours passed, and as the sun set over Githar, the atmosphere softened. Representatives from both factions exchanged ideas on cooperation and solutions, discussing common goals and resources. By the end of the summit, they had reached a preliminary agreement, a commitment to continue dialogue and work together toward rebuilding Githar. Sarah couldn't help but smile, feeling a sense of accomplishment wash over her. As the representatives shook hands, she knew this was only the beginning. They had laid the foundation for a new era of collaboration, proving that even the most entrenched divisions could be bridged through communication and understanding. A new hope. Returning to the Galactic University, Sarah felt a renewed sense of purpose. The Peace Summit had been a success, and the news spread quickly throughout the galaxy. Other Deathworlders began to see humans in a new light, not just as a chaotic species, but as potential allies in the pursuit of peace. Professor Zill called for a class discussion to reflect on their experiences. "What did you learn from this journey?" he asked. One student raised their hand. "I learned that we can't judge a species based on stereotypes. Each has its own story." "Yes," Zill agreed, his eye stalks gleaming with pride. "Understanding is key. And now we have the chance to reshape perceptions of Deathworlders." Sarah felt a sense of pride swell in her chest. "I believe that by showcasing our resilience and adaptability, we can inspire others. We have the potential to change the galaxy's view of humans." As they continued to share their insights, Sarah realized that their journey was far from over. The galaxy was vast, and there were countless opportunities to bridge gaps between species. In the following months, Sarah and her classmates organized more outreach programs, inviting various species to Earth to foster understanding and cooperation. They shared human culture, technology, and stories of triumph over adversity. As their efforts gained traction, Sarah felt hopeful for the future. She envisioned a galaxy where differences were celebrated and collaboration was the norm. On a clear day, standing on the balcony of the Galactic University, Sarah gazed at the stars, contemplating the journey ahead. She had gone from an outsider to a catalyst for change, and she was ready to embrace whatever challenges lay ahead. The stars twinkled brightly, reflecting the possibilities of a united galaxy, and Sarah Thompson knew that her mission was just beginning. Months passed since the successful Peace Summit on Githar, and the ripples of change were felt throughout the galaxy. Sarah Thompson had transitioned from an eager student to an ambassador for Earth, dedicating herself to fostering understanding between species. At the Galactic University, excitement buzzed in the air as Sarah's class prepared for a new initiative, a galactic cultural exchange program designed to bring together students from various planets. The aim was simple: to promote friendship and collaboration while showcasing the uniqueness of each species. Professor Zill stood at the front of the classroom, his eye stalks radiating enthusiasm. "We have an incredible opportunity before us. The cultural exchange will allow us to not only learn from one another, but also dispel misconceptions that have lingered for far too long." A third student named Jarek raised his hand. "What if some species refuse to participate? Some of them might still harbor negative feelings about humans." An astute observation, Jarek, Professor Zill replied. "Not all factions are eager to embrace change, especially those who have faced conflict. However, we must remain persistent and demonstrate the benefits of cooperation." Sarah's heart raced as she thought about the potential challenges ahead. What if we invite students from those factions to share their experiences? Personal stories could break down barriers. "Excellent idea," Zill exclaimed. "Personal narratives often resonate deeply and can inspire change." With the plan set, Sarah and her classmates began reaching out to universities across the galaxy, inviting students to participate in the cultural exchange program. Days turned into weeks as they organized events, workshops, and discussions aimed at fostering mutual respect and understanding. Finally, the day of the program arrived. Students from diverse backgrounds filled the halls of the Galactic University, their vibrant colors and distinct features creating a tapestry of life. Sarah felt a wave of nervousness wash over her. Would this work? As the opening ceremony commenced, Sarah took a deep breath and stepped onto the stage. "Welcome, everyone. Today, we embark on a journey of discovery and friendship," she began. "We are here not just to learn about each other's cultures, but to build bridges that will strengthen our galaxy." The audience erupted in applause, a mix of hope and curiosity sparking in the air. Over the next few weeks, Sarah facilitated discussions on Earth's history, technology, and culture, inviting students to share their stories as well. One afternoon, she met with a group of students from Githar, including a representative from the Kith faction named Lyra. Lyra had initially been skeptical of humans, but she had agreed to participate in the program. "Tell us about your planet, Lyra," Sarah encouraged, sensing the tension in the room. With a hesitant smile, Lyra began to speak. "Githar is beautiful, but it's also a place of conflict. Our history is filled with struggles, but we've also created incredible art and technology. It's important to us." As Lyra shared her culture's triumphs and tragedies, the students listened intently, nodding along. Sarah noticed the barriers slowly beginning to dissolve as personal stories created empathy and understanding. After several weeks, the students organized a cultural festival, showcasing the best of their worlds: food, music, art, and technology. The campus buzzed with excitement as students decorated the halls, eager to share their traditions. Sarah watched as students from Earth prepared dishes for their alien friends. The aroma of human cuisine wafted through the air, drawing curious onlookers. Lyra approached Sarah, her eyes sparkling with curiosity. "Can I help with the cooking? I'd love to learn how to make some Earth dishes," she said. "Of course, we'll make tacos together," Sarah replied, feeling a rush of joy at the prospect of shared experiences. As they cooked, Lyra opened up about her culture's cuisine and how food often served as a bridge between factions. "We have a traditional dish that symbolizes unity. It's called Kithara, and we share it during peace ceremonies," Lyra explained. "That's beautiful. I think we should incorporate it into the festival," Sarah suggested. Together, they brainstormed ways to blend their culinary traditions, forging a bond through their shared passion for food. As the festival day approached, Sarah felt a sense of anticipation mixed with nervousness. The festival was a resounding success, drawing students and faculty from across the galaxy. Laughter and music filled the air as attendees tasted dishes from different worlds, danced to rhythms unfamiliar yet infectious, and shared stories that transcended cultural boundaries. During the festival, Sarah noticed a small group of students from the Makar faction hesitantly observing from the sidelines. Their expressions hinted at a mixture of curiosity and distrust. Encouraging her classmates, Sarah approached the group. "Welcome. Would you like to join us? We're about to showcase a traditional Earth dance," she said, her voice warm and inviting. The students exchanged hesitant glances before one stepped forward. "We're not sure we fit in," he admitted. "Everyone is welcome here," Sarah assured them. "We all have unique experiences to share. Let's learn from one another." Slowly, the Makar students joined the festivities, their initial reservations melting away. They watched the Earth dance, laughing as they attempted to mimic the movements, creating a beautiful fusion of cultures. As the festival drew to a close, Sarah stood before the crowd, her heart swelling with pride. "Today, we've not only celebrated our differences, but also discovered the threads that bind us together. Let this be a reminder that unity is possible, even in the face of adversity." The applause that followed echoed throughout the hall, signaling a new beginning, a future where the galaxy could come together, regardless of their origins. In the weeks that followed, the cultural exchange program flourished. Students returned home with newfound perspectives, ready to advocate for understanding and collaboration. The seeds of change had been planted, and Sarah was determined to nurture them. Standing on the balcony of the Galactic University once again, Sarah gazed at the stars, feeling a sense of belonging and purpose. She had discovered her place in the galaxy, not just as an ambassador for Earth, but as a champion for a brighter, united future. As she looked up at the constellations, she knew the journey was far from over. There were still challenges to face, but with every story shared and every friendship forged, the galaxy moved closer to a harmonious existence. And for Sarah, each new dawn was an invitation to explore uncharted territories, embracing the adventure that lay ahead.